little bit about daily things, Olga.
Mhm.
What have you been up to? Like, if we think about daily routines, things at work, what have you been doing? You remember the grammatical categories that we have been talking about? What have you been doing these days? Like, choose any aspect, easy aspect of your life that you can talk about.
I have been working all the week since Monday, and this morning I've been at school.
That's okay. Say it again.
This morning I have been at school already, and I've had a discussion with the teacher of chemistry of my elder son, and I guess I need to use the present perfect continuous, right? What I have been doing else?
Well, I have been working hard.
I have been planning my future weekend. What else? I have been discussing with my mom whether she will come to us.
I have been discussing your visit. Yeah, you
Yes,
need something.
I have been discussing her visit.
Or whether she is going to visit us. Okay.
What else?
Okay.
And I have been watching YouTube a lot.
Okay. Inga? Well, Oля, look at the words.
Hello, girls. I'm sorry.
Hello.
Chemistry.
Chemistry. The scientist is chemist. So you have been talking, you have talked to your chemistry teacher, your son's chemistry teacher. Is he fond of chemistry?
Oh, no.
No.
That's opposite.
The opposite. I see. Right. So you remember I asked you to do several tasks, and there were some. Did you have time to interact, to talk to each other?
No.
No? Oh, that's a shame, really. That's okay. Anyway, you remember we talked about phrasal verbs. I asked you to do a bit of listening and then to do some exercises with phrasal verbs. So let's do a bit of revision. Have a look at the questions on the screen. So, Inga, take the first question. Pick the first question.
Okay. How much time does a person need to pick up the language? I think it depends on the person and what is able to study language, and maybe about over 6 months, but sometimes for other people need a lot of time to pick up the language.
Okay. Well, Oля, do you agree? How long does it take to pick up the basics?
Basics?
Oля, can you say something?
I don't know the word basics.
The basics, the elementary things.
The basic things,
Basics.
right?
Basics. The pronunciation is basics.
Basics.
The basics, the foundation, like.
Okay, I get it. Yes, I agree with Inga.
When you travel, for example, do you usually try to pick up some language like hi, hello, thank you in different languages?
Yes. Yes.
Mhm, mhm,
And native people
mhm,
are always welcome these attitudes to
mhm.
use their own language.
Yeah, of course. Uh-huh. When you were a teenager, was there an adult in your life you looked up to? You remember the meaning when you
Mhm.
look up to somebody. So what do you do?
You admire this people.
Mm-hmm. Okay, think about a person you looked up to.
Um, as for me, I guess it was my grandpa.
Mm-hmm.
When I was a teenager, I looked up to him
Mm-hmm.
because he was very honest and kind person
Mm-hmm.
and clever and intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm I continue to look up to him after
Mm-hmm.
his death.
I see. Okay. Inga, what about you?
So, as for me, I look up to my grandma. Nowadays she is 95, but I have a lot of mm, features of character,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
traits of characters
Mm-hmm.
as my grandma, and I'm ambitious, hardworking, and I look up to her.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, let's move on. Good. So if you have a problem at work, I know that problems can be different. Think about different problems. So what do you do? Which do you choose, A, B, or C?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I choose maybe to try to sort it out myself
Mm-hmm.
and try to keep calm firstly, and after
Mm-hmm.
that, try to figure it out with this problem. How
Figure out how to solve it or figure out what to do. Mm-hmm.
what to do, figure out
Mm-hmm.
what to do. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Good. Mm-hmm. Very good.
And after
As
that,
for me,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
uh,
Inga.
as for
Uh, uh,
okay.
yeah, good. Uh-huh. So, Ola.
so,
Uh-huh.
as for me, I think that the way of solving the problem depends of the things.
Mm-hmm.
Can I um, um, can I solve whether I can solve this problem myself,
Mm-hmm.
and if the resolving of the problem depends only on my efforts, so I will try to sort it out myself. But
Mm-hmm.
if the solving of the problem involves the decision of another, my colleagues,
Mm-hmm.
I sometimes bring this problem up with at the meeting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, okay. Ladies, before we move on, think about the word, depend. I misspelled the word
Mhm.
depend. So what comes after depend?
Depend on.
On, yeah, how do we say? It depends
On
on the problem, yeah.
Mhm.
Uh-huh. And one more thing, look at these two words. Our students
Another.
very often make mistakes. What is
Мы
the
говорим
difference?
other and another.
Think about it.
Others.
What is the difference?
uh,
Another, Inga. Uh-huh.
I have a problem too with these words.
Another, well, another. Okay, put it like this, and you will remember. Look at the chat. Another means one.
One more.
Yeah, like, can you give me another example? Or
Mhm.
think of another problem, like one more. But
Mhm,
another goes with a singular noun.
mhm,
Or I have a lot of other problems or a
Mhm.
lot of other questions.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And well, other with plural forms, another with a singular form. It's a
Singular.
group or a category,
Mm.
another. Yeah, like one more.
Mhm.
Okay, we move on. And you remember I asked you to study the language connected with tables and descriptions.
Mhm.
And at home, I asked you to think about number 2, 3, and 4 and gave you example with number 1.
Uh-huh.
Before we see what you have, look at this. Here we have
Yeah.
the year in the
Mhm.
past, and
Mhm.
we have
Presence.
now.
Mhm.
Because it's about something from the past till now,
Mhm.
we use
Future continuous.
present perfect
Present perfect, yeah.
because it's the result by now.
Mhm.
If we have 2 years, it will be,
Past simple.
yes, of course. If it was like 2018, for example, we would use past simple here, right?
Mhm.
In our exam, ЕГЭ exam, students have things in present. They don't have years. So if you have statistics about this year, you will use present, right? Present simple. So the choice of tenses depends on the context. Это вот то, о чем меня в прошлый раз Инга спрашивала, что у нас может быть картинка статическая, может быть динамическая, то есть изменения, периоды. Если сравниваем прошлое с настоящим, будет перфект. Если сравниваем 2 прошлых времени, будет past simple. Does it make sense? Okay, good. So let's see what we have in number 2. So Inga, can you compare number 2?
Mhm. There has been a slight decrease in a number of football teams playing football since one
Since
year,
last,
last year.
yes. For a year, yeah, or since last year. Very good. Oля, can you say a same thing in a different way? Well, can you try to say it using numbers?
The number of football teams has been decreased from 53 to 39 since last year.
Has decreased.
Has decreased.
Itself.
So has been.
Well, you don't do it. They do it themselves. So gym membership. What do you say about gym membership? So Inga, what do you have here? Gym membership.
How I understand gym membership, such as people that go to the gym.
To the gym. You can say gym members. The number of gym members.
Мне говорить?
Yeah, please.
Okay. There has been a slight increase in number of in the gym number of memberships since 2014.
2014. There has been a increase. Yeah.
Yeah.
An increase. A slight increase. Okay. All right. And Oля, what do you have for membership? For gym membership?
The number of gym memberships has increased a bit from 21% to 33% since 2014.
And do you remember how do we say выросла на 4%? Do you remember my slide? Has increased.
Has increased.
A bit.
A bit. By.
By, from, to, or by, for, percent. You remember this, percent. If we compare, like number 21,
By
for,
Percent.
percent.
why 4?
Oh, no, not four. Yeah, I'm not good at mathematics. Like it will be
12.
12. Yeah, 12. Yeah.
By 12%.
No, yeah, 12. Yes.
It has increased
Uh-huh.
increased by 12% since 2014.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, yeah. And the last one. Inga, what do you have for the last one?
The number of people playing volleyball has decreased. Has decreased a bit from 26 to 23. 23. 23%.
And if we want to say since, we would say, we will calculate the years in the head. Yeah, like since 2021, for example. Yeah. Or
for the last 2 years, can we say that?
Over the last 2 years. Over the last 2 years. В течение последних, да, вот это вот, в течение последних 2 лет. Okay, good, well done. So, have a look at this, at the next slide. So here I have UK teenagers out of school activities, what they do outside school. So look at this line. Here we have hours per week, and here we have different activities. And if you look at these, what do we call those? What are they? Are bars. Yeah, bars. If we look at these bars, we have
2000
and 2015.
So we are going to use what grammatical categories? Past simple, because we have 2 past years. Yeah. So you don't have to talk about everything. So pick something and tell me about sport or homework or computers or mobiles. Okay, let's try to say things. You don't have to write things.
Let's start. The number of UK teenagers who how can I say that? The number of UK teenagers.
Is it about the number of UK teenagers, or is it about the number of hours?
Yeah, hours per week.
They do things. Because we don't know how many people.
Yeah.
We see, this is what they have in OGEA. They have students and activities very often, or things and people. Okay.
The quality of the hours.
We say the number of hours, because the
number of hours, it's okay. The number of hours that UK teenagers do their homework slightly increased from slightly increased yes, we can say from 10 to 12 hours a week per week.
Okay, good, well done. So
when should I add years? 20 and 2015. Or 2000,
from to
from
2015,
2000
time is at the end or at the beginning. To
2015. The hours like increased
Okay.
from 10 to 12.
Inga?
The number hours per week of UK teenagers has, мы говорим в past simple, sorry, increased noticeably from 2015 to 2000 by using mobiles. Можно так?
The number of hours, think about saying it,
Per week, the number of
of hours, it's the number of hours per week teenagers
of
Using
look at this structure, Inga. The number of hours per week teenagers spend.
Teenagers spend time.
Spend. Oh, no. Don't use. We spend time on doing something. Think about this one. The number of hours teenagers spend with their mobiles or on mobile games or
with mobile games or
phones.
And increased noticeably from 2015 to 2000.
Okay. We noticeably, yeah. You see, sometimes we can make subject more complex. The number of hours teenagers spend with mobiles or with computers. Okay, so Oля, one more from you.
The number of hours teenagers spend with the computer significantly increased by by 7 hours per week from 2000 to 2015.
Yes, absolutely. Look at this. Look at this phrase.
Twice as much.
You can use the word twice as much or twice as many. When you say like 2 times, we say 3 times, 4 times, 4 раза, 5 раз. But you can say 2 times as much or twice as much. Вот у нас как раз тот пример, когда, ну, чуть больше, чем a bit more than 2 times, or now teenagers spend twice as much time with computers, or in 2015 they spent twice as much time with computers in comparison with 2000.
Comparison with 2000.
Yeah, does it make sense?
Yes.
3 times as much or as many hours. If you talk about time, you would say twice as much time. If you talk about hours,
we can use many.
Many, twice as many hours per week. Much with
uncountable. Many with countable.
With countable. Well, if we go back to mobile phones, social media or mobile games, so we say here it's
increased noticeably.
Noticeably, considerably. Or you would say, well, here it was about like 1 hour, and here it's about
20 hours.
20 times, or like 18 times as much. Yeah. So now they spend a lot more time. Okay. And so, Inga, what do we say about sport?
There uh, mm, um, the number of the number hours
We need the number of hours.
the number of hours per week the UK teenagers
The UK teenagers, you need this, yeah,
of
занимаются спортом. The UK teenagers
doing
do
sports,
sports or did sports, past simple, yeah?
did sport decreased decreased a bit from 2015 till 2000.
Okay, so if we have these changes here, we can say from to, or we can say in comparison with,
In
в сравнении, да, потому что если у нас нет этой динамики вдруг, как здесь, in comparison with, the number decreased. Okay, so at least now we know how to talk about changes, and very often when we read or teach factual texts, we can deal with numbers, right? And we change the topic a bit, and I want to ask you, are you a lucky person? If I ask you about luck and money, think about luck and money. Are you a lucky person?
I'm not.
Why?
Because I have never won the lottery. I have never I have never got a huge heritage, and I have never have rich relatives.
I have never
had.
Any rich relatives.
Yeah, so that's why I'm lucky at love.
In love. Good. It's also a very good thing to know, yeah? You're lucky in love. Inga, what do you say?
So I'm a positive person, and I think I'm a lucky person. But I have never been, have never won the lottery. But if I want to buy something, I can allow myself, and sometimes I have no money, and my husband helps me, or comes unexpected money
Income.
Good. Something happens. And you buy things. Inga, what was the last thing you bought unexpectedly?
I bought unexpectedly the dress for photo session.
Sounds good. Nice. Look at this question, ladies. I am on page 44. Imagine you suddenly became very rich, either by winning a lottery or inheriting. You remember the word, when you inherit money, where does the money come from?
From dead relative.
From a relative, yeah. Inheriting money.
Maybe a relative, maybe
somewhere, yeah.
some
How
friend.
would you spend? How would you spend the money if you had some money, more money, a lot of money? So what comes to mind first? You have a lot of money. Let's focus on a big sum.
If I had unexpected inherited money, I have helped. No, I
would. It's
I
hypothetical.
Would help homeless children and disabled children.
Oh, good for you.
And after that, I think about my private aims, what to do.
Like
Maybe,
what?
like to help my maybe relatives, help to maybe decorate or decorate my home or
Renovate, yeah?
renovate. Yes, something.
Okay. So, Ola, what would you do with money?
If I become very rich suddenly,
Became, yeah, hypothetical. I hope you will, but if I became rich, or if I got a lot of money,
if
I would.
I got a lot of money, firstly I pay my loans because we with my husband have mortgage. Secondly, I think that I put this money to the real estate, maybe in Russia or in other countries. Of course, some of the money I give to charity, especially to the children who has cancer, because who have cancer. Because this year my close friend and her daughter has this huge problem, and they have been at the hospital for several months, and the daughter has been operated. No, they had operation, and and this problem is very close to me now. And of course, as I said, I put this money to the real estate because I have two sons, and very очень быстро, very fastly, very
fast or quickly.
Very quickly they become adults.
And they will become adults, yeah? They will become adults quickly.
And they will need their own home.
Yeah, true. Okay, so if we look at those headlines, so if you look at A, usually when we read headlines, there are no articles, no prepositions, and they are shorter than just sentences. So, but if you focus on the word wrecked,
destroyed,
ruined. Usually we wreck with ship or machines or cars, destroy. And well, this lottery winning wrecked my life. So is it about something positive or negative?
Negative, I guess.
Definitely negative, right? If we look at B, do we know anything
neutral?
about?
We don't know.
We don't know. Okay. Details. Look at C, Inga. What do you say about C? Is it positive or negative?
It's positive.
How do we know this?
Brothers.
Homeless brothers inherit. And then we have
normal life.
Yeah. Normal life now. So what I want you to do now, I want you to read well, first parts of two stories. So look at these paragraphs. What do you think people did with the money? We don't know, but try to guess. Read the paragraphs and try to guess. Mhm.
Mhm.
Okay, focus a bit on, there will be one character whose name is Sharon.
Sharon.
So what do we know?
Team pass.
Well, what can we guess about Sharon?
Maybe she helps to kids after
Mhm.
because they rented house.
Catch the bus to their part-time job.
I guess she
Has been from
had-
super rich to living from week to week.
I guess she has spent all these $10.5 million, and now she has to work. She has to rent the house, and now
Maybe.
she's not rich now. What do
She's
we-
probably not rich now. Inga, do you agree, or any other ideas?
I agree.
So, and there is another story about Ethan Khan, and look at this, lotto winner takes home fortune to Pakistan. What is this fortune?
Lucky maybe.
Fortune could be about luck, but it's also about a lot of money.
Mhm.
Fortune?
So I won a fortune, like a lot of money, a dream, like lots of money. So, and if we look at these paragraph, what do we know about Ethan?
That he's from Pakistan.
Inga,
And
any
he-
other ideas?
And he maybe spent his money to brought it back to his native town.
Okay, so he won it somewhere, but he brought it back to his native town in Pakistan. Okay, so before we read the stories, I want you to look at the words here. So we have some words here in Sharon's story, and we have some words in Ethan's story. Okay, have a look at the words. So how do we pronounce this one? Mercedes. Mercedes. So I want you to look at the meanings of the words. The day when you get money from your job, what is that? If you look at the words from here, all the
Payday.
words are from here. Yes, thank you, Inga. This is payday. So very quickly, have a quick look at the words and match them. So take a moment to take notes. Let me know if you're ready. So what do we have for number 2, ladies?
Huge houses.
Huge house.
Or large luxury homes would be
Huge.
Look at this, the word. These are
Dream? Mansions.
mentions, особняки, like
Mhm.
big houses, usually for rich people who look very expensive. Mansions. Mhm.
Mansions.
So he's got a mansion, like a big house with a huge garden and maybe beautiful view. Number 3 would be
Earthquake.
earthquake. Good. So Inga, number 4, what would it be?
Parliament.
Okay, and people who work there are, well, this is parliament, right? You are, very good. And who are the people? What do we call the people?
Politicians.
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 Mhm. Okay, so people who study politics, they are political scientists.
Mhm.
And those who make laws, they are
But
politicians.
politicians is the very wide
Yes, a very wide word.
term.
Yeah. So, yes, absolutely. I think it's also very wide in Russian.
Yes, but
Mhm.
what about parliament?
People,
But,
they are members of the parliament. They would be
members of the
members of the
parliament.
parliament. Mhm. But still, their job is to do politics. They are
Politicians. Mhm.
politicians. Number
Children, kids.
8. Ladies, when you teach your students, so which word is more formal, kids or children?
Children.
Children. Kids is more informal. Kids is good for emails, for speaking. But if
Kids
you write
informal.
an essay, you don't write kids, you write
Children.
children. If it's an essay, yeah, a formal paper. So number 6, Inga.
Please that you have got what you wanted. I have no ideas. Maybe satisfied.
Okay, of course.
Yes, I
Right,
agree
you.
with satisfied.
Yes, absolutely. Right, you are. The leader of the city would be
Mayor.
mayor. Okay. Well, and the last word,
Family
I have
value.
no idea besides family values, but
values. Yes, traditional principles of being honest and decent. Not necessarily family. They could be cultural values, could be
values.
religious values. Like,
This descent, what does it mean?
which word?
Descent, to be honest, and descent.
Decent. Decent. Well, like respected. Decent. The Russian, the word достойный, honest and decent, like respected by other people. He's a decent person, like with good reputation. Right. There probably will be some other words, but that's okay. I'm sure we will understand everything. So what I want you to do, I want Inga to go to page 128. And Inga, you will read a story about Sharon. Oля, you will go to page 130 and you will read a story about Ethan. There are some questions for you, and then in 5 minutes, you will try to use these words to tell us about these people, okay?
Yes.
Okay, look at the questions and go back to the words we have here and tell us a few words about what they did with the money. Are they happy now? How much they won? And what's their life now? So, are we ready? Well, let's talk a little bit about Sharon. Inga, tell us a few words about Sharon.
Sharon Tirabisi, Sharon is catching before she won the lottery. Sharon is catching the bus to her part-time job, and one of the day she won the lottery, $10,000 and a million, $10,000 and five from Lotto Super 7 ticket, and she was unprepared for this, and she goes with her friends and husband to wild shopping, where they were traveling, and
So what did she basically do? Did she spend her money well or not wisely?
not wisely. She
Not
spent
wisely.
необдуманно. She spent not. She doesn't think what does she pay, and she bought several huge houses in the wealthiest part of the city, and she bought some cars, but
What about her now? Is she happy now?
But now Sharon is living in a rented house on a quiet industrial street, and she has no longer cars and houses, and she has an electric bike, and she is not catching the bus, and she's happier. She's happier than she has a lot of money, because she thinks the important things for her to spend time maybe with close people, that to go while shopping and so on.
Okay. Well, let's talk a little bit about Ethan. So what about him? What is his story, Ola?
Ethan Hahn worked as a taxi driver in the USA and as a security guard in the US, in Chicago and Washington. He said that it was the worst job ever, and the most of his salary he sent to his family in Pakistan. And also he played in the lottery he had been playing in lottery 14 years, and one night he saw the dream, and he saw diamonds and a special number, and one day he suddenly won the jackpot over 55 million of dollars. Yeah. And firstly he gave up his job, and then he bought the very expensive car and a luxury house in the USA. But then he decided to move back, to go back to his native place, to Pakistan, and to become a mayor, to help
Mhm.
people, because there were a lot of and there are a lot of family in Pakistan who have not enough money for living.
Mhm.
This year, the earthquake had happened in Pakistan, and that's why he had an opportunity to give money, to spend money directly. And that year, he spent more than $300,000 to medicine, and he helped to build a school in his town.
Mhm.
But he realized that giving money and spending money is not enough, and he failed his own efforts, that he can do more for his not only for his city, but for the country as a whole.
Mhm.
That's why after he retired from the mayor post, he wanted to run the parliament election. But unfortunately, he did not win this election because his competitor won. And we don't know what is he doing now.
Okay, right. Oля, can we say this word again?
Earthquake.
Earthquake, yeah. So both Sharon and Ethan won a lot of money, right? And there were different decisions, different decisions. Look at the questions here on page 45. What sensible decisions did they make? You remember the word sensible, like common sense, like logical, rational decisions. What sensible decisions did they make? And what poor decisions can be sensible and poor.
Poor is opposite to sensible in
like
this case.
Bad decisions, right? Bad decisions. So if we go to Sharon, what was your sensible decision? Inga, what?
If you have lots of money, don't go to Las Vegas.
It was your poor decision, like to spend all the money. Any rational decisions? Any good, sensible decisions?
Sensible decision that she raising at the end. She concentrated on raising her children with good family values.
Yes. Okay. By the way, if you go to page 128 and highlight this, I think this is a very good way to say, teachers educate children, but parents raise children, right?
Raise,
like bring up.
Bring up, yes.
Yeah, you know the word bring up children. It's about values, about education, about moral principles. So you raise children and then they become adults, right? And I think there is a very good word here, like you remember the word, I can't afford something. And when something is affordable, it's not
affordable rates.
Yeah, like it's not only about rates.
It's
something that you can
higher than you can manage.
Maybe
allow. Yeah, you rent them at affordable rate. Affordable, it's when it's okay. Is it affordable? Yes, I can afford it. Do you remember the word? Can you afford to buy a car? Oh,
Mm,
sorry, I
okay.
have no enough money. I can't afford it. When something is
Mhm.
affordable or prices are affordable, you can
So
afford them.
the rates is okay.
Yeah, well, it's fine. It's okay.
Mhm.
Okay, and if we look at Hans' decisions, so which decisions were
Sensible
poor, which
decision.
decisions were good?
So if we discussing this question from the humanitarian point of view, I guess that all of his decisions were sensible. As for me, because of course he had he made a huge effort to help people, but giving people money directly
Directly.
Mm-hmm. Gave him the thought that people are often greedy and they never seem satisfied with that.
Okay, yeah, like
So
when people are greedy,
and
what is,
only in
what
this
is
case I can say that giving money to directly, yeah, is his poor decision. Was his poor decision.
And if you make a decision to fix everything, is it possible to fix everything?
No, of course it's impossible to
It's
singular
idealistic.
person.
It's idealistic. It's impossible.
Yes.
When people are greedy, so what happens?
They want more and more money.
They want more money. Are we greedy? Yes, very often. We want more than we need. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So he ran in the election and became mayor. You remember the word election?
Yes, of course.
Yes, of course. So in March, we are going to do what? In this country?
Elect our president.
To elect the president, yes. So, and election is the process of, electing, choosing the president. And look at this word, resigned as a mayor. When you resign the post, what do you do?
Is it?
Is he a mayor now?
His term is out.
Well, when you resign, you leave it, the post. You say goodbye.
You leave it before time or in time?
Not necessarily. For example, the managing director didn't like the policy of the new company and he decided to resign. But resign, and when you make a decision to leave the post, это не увольнять, а принять решение уйти в отставку. Resign the post. It's not only about a mayor. It could be about any other position. Okay. And you remember when you get something, the formal variant is to receive. It's very good. And when your luck runs out, do you remember? Run out of money, run out of water. When your luck runs out, what happens?
It comes to an end.
Yeah, you have no luck anymore. No luck anymore. So we are back to page 46. Oh, no, 45. Sorry, 45. So what is the moral message of the stories? Think about the moral message.
As for my hero, you could not fix anything and everything. You could not help everyone you want. And you need to sort out your efforts.
This is probably you
not sort out, my baby, to split.
Prioritize.
Prioritize. Yes, it's better.
Prioritize your goals. Yeah.
Mhm.
American English would be with Z, British English with S, prioritize. So you remember this, you set priorities.
Mhm.
Uh, mm, mhm. Or you prioritize. So, and Inga, what do you say about Sharon? What is the message of the story, the moral of the story?
So I think for Sharon, the main idea is that if you want a lottery, try to figure out what to do with them and try to do try to get sensible decisions.
Make, very good. Make sensible decisions,
Um,
even
what
if it's difficult. Yeah.
Yes, and on what to pay, or maybe take advice with
Ask for advice. Yeah.
yes, ask advice, for example.
Yeah. Okay. So look at the sentences in 3A. So, well, can you read the first one?
Ethan Khan
Khan.
used to work as a taxi driver and security guard in the USA.
Okay. Oля, please read the second one, B.
B. He used to think he could use his money to fix everything.
And into the last one, please.
She would regularly go on shopping trips where she would buy anything she fancied.
When you fancy something, what do you do?
Maybe like.
Yes,
Like-
absolutely. Fancy is a synonym for like. Fancy is a synonym for like. Pay attention to that Y at the end, fancy. Do you fancy going shopping, or do you fancy having a cup of coffee? Like. If we look at these three situations, three facts, is it a regular action or it happened once?
Regular. Used to regular, I think.
Yeah, it's.
Mhm.
Is it repeated?
Yes.
Was it repeated in the past, or is it about
Past.
present?
She used to work as a taxi
She used, no, well, he used to think she would go, she would buy, he used to work.
It's in the past and the present as a result, maybe.
I think
no.
when we talk about past habits, we use construction used to. When we talk about regularly, we take would with
Just
would.
take a moment, Think about active verbs, actions, and think about states.
Oh,
What is a
states, yeah.
state? Can you give me
Well,
examples of states?
I'm
Be
happy.
Be, have, think.
Want.
These are state, want. But there are actions. Can you give me examples of actions from here?
go,
Work,
Go.
go, think. Think it's state, okay?
Go,
Work, go.
buy.
move.
Cook.
What about work? Is it a state or an action?
Will you repeat please question?
Work.
Action.
What about work? Is it a state or an action?
About work action.
Work is action. Go is action. Buy is action.
Action.
Yes.
And which one is a state?
Think.
Think. Think. Okay, when we talk about past habits in the past, repeated actions in the past, can we use used to?
Yes.
Can we use would?
No.
Yes. We repeated actions, we use would or used to. Look at states. No, think. We use only
Used to.
used to. So with actions, we can use both used to and would. With states,
Only used
emotional,
to?
only used to. How would you say? Я ходила в музыкальную школу, когда была маленькая.
I used to go, or I would
I would
go.
go to music school.
I would, without to, I would go. I would
I
go
would,
to.
look at this one. She would go on
Mhm.
shopping. She would buy. It was a regular action in the past. Why do we use used to or would? Because usually now we don't do it.
Mm.
Mhm. How do we make a negative sentence? Я не ходила в художественную школу. Я ходила в музыкальную.
I didn't used to.
I didn't used to go to painting school, but I used to go to music school. Or I would go. So would is only used with actions, active verbs, used to with both actions and states.
Mhm.
Okay?
Yes.
And there is one more thing that I want you to make sure you remember. So I'll post some sentences and let it be blue and let it be like this. Can you see my screen, ladies?
Mhm.
I have a couple of sentences about me. Look at this. I used to drink
Mhm.
more coffee than I do now. Usually you talk about something that was different in the past than now. I used to go to music school. I'm an adult, I don't go. I used to drink more coffee, like 3 or 4 cups a day. Now I try to stick to 1 or 2. So I control my coffee. I love coffee, so I don't try not to drink too much. So can I say would here?
Yes.
Yes, because
for
drink
action.
is an action. Yes. Look at this one. I'm
two?
used to
Mm.
waking up at 6 o'clock. Or I'm getting used to going to bed earlier and waking up earlier. Is it about a past action?
No, is
no.
it? I'm used to waking up. It's a process. You're in a
Well,
process.
Look at this. With here we have a similar phrase, but the meaning is different. I and you need the verb to be, or if something changes, you need the word get. And then you say used to when you talk about something which is changing. I'm used to waking up. It's okay for me now. 6 o'clock is fine. I get up. I'm getting used to going to bed earlier and waking up earlier. То есть то,
I didn't
что...
understand. Why do we choose used to? What is the part of speech? Verb? Is it a verb?
It's a participle. It's a participle. Здесь это причастие. I'm getting used. And the meaning is я привык или я привыкаю.
Привыкаю. I'm getting used.
Имел обыкновение делать что-то. Я привыкаю или привык уже.
I'm used to waking up.
И вот здесь ошибку на B2 чаще делаем, что это похожее по форме слово, но сопровождается не инфинитивом, а существительным или инговым окончанием. Does it make sense?
Ну да, ну
I'm
все
used
сразу
to.
вместе.
I'm used to. Нет, просто я хочу, чтобы вы на это обратили внимание, что и то, и другое существует в языке. Мы сейчас концентрируемся на вот этом.
Мгм.
Но в текстах у
Ну,
нас
это проще,
попадает,
конечно.
да,
Это вот и тут
что
и
я
continuous.
потихонечку привыкаю к тому, что у нас вот что-то меняется. When we talk about changes in life, you say, I'm used to doing something. I'm getting used to doing something. When something changes in your life and you are feeling okay.
Мгм.
And this is a different meaning. In the book, at the back of the book, you have some more examples. So don't confuse used to do, but getting used to doing. It's a
Мгм.
different phrase. So this is now for you to remember that it exists, but it's a different story. Okay?
Мгм.
Right. Back to our book. So if we look at the book, you see, you have to remember that used to is, when you speak, used to is probably better because you don't have to think action or state.
Мгм.
Would is good for writing stories, not to repeat. Used to, or past simple, past simple. It gives you variety. Okay? So
Mhm.
let's look at the rule. Mhm. So look at this rule that we have here, the yellow box.
Мгм.
So what do we have? So take a moment, 6 gaps. Can you complete the 6 gaps?
To talk about the things in
Mhm.
the past.
So we use used to or would to talk about things
In the past.
no longer true
Now.
now. Absolutely. And pay attention to pronunciation. We say used to. It's not used, it's used to.
Мгм.
It's like shortened. To talk about states, thoughts, or feelings in the past, we can use only,
Used to,
but not
not with.
would. Absolutely. To talk about habits and repeated actions, we can use both,
Ага.
either used to
Or would.
or would. Okay, so look at 2 more examples. Very often we use grammar or we use extra words. For example, today the Tirabassi family don't live in a huge house anymore. Or we can say, he used to think he could use his money to fix everything, but he no longer believes that. Are the sentences positive or negative?
Negative.
Negative. Here we have this don't believe anymore, and here we make a negative structure with no longer, but
Мгм.
a positive verb, right? Are things different now with Sharon and Isan? Are they different now? Or the same as before?
М. In the
They
first
don't live in a
sentence,
house anymore. Are they the same as before?
как это вот
No, yeah, they are different.
anymore. So they lived in a huge house,
They
but
lived, but
now
now
they
not
don't
don't.
live now.
He believed in the past, but now he
He
No longer.
does not believe.
doesn't. Okay, so what I want you to do now, look at this first sentence. Can you change it, and make it with no longer?
Мгм.
Can you make the sentence about the Tirabassi family with no longer?
Today the Tirabassi family no longer live in a huge house. Maybe.
Absolutely. And Oля, can you make different? Can you make the sentence about isen with don't anymore? Well, doesn't anymore.
You didn't
So isen han
Used to think, yeah?
isen han does not занимать должность. Does
No,
not.
no, it doesn't.
Does
You
not.
keep the word. Doesn't.
We say I need to use believe.
You anymore. Use it with anymore. Here it's with no longer. Make it with anymore. He doesn't.
Okay, he doesn't believe he can fix everything anymore. He
Yes,
doesn't believe.
absolutely. So if we think about this structure, doesn't live in a house anymore, or doesn't believe anymore, I think it's sounds like Russian. That's why it's easier. No longer is also very good, but no longer is before the verb. I no longer understand, think this way. I no longer believe in this. Well, this is also another way to talk about something which is different now. So used to, would show us that things are different. And these phrases help us understand that things are different now. For example, I used to think that students have to do a lot of homework, but I don't believe in this anymore, because students never do homework or do very little homework. So any changes in your life, things you believe in or you know or you think.
So as for my son, he as for my son, I don't believe him anymore because he doesn't do homework. Honestly.
Okay, you don't believe
As-
him anymore. Okay,
As
leave the
for my
child
son-
alone. It's okay to survive at school. My son used to tell me, my son is 18 now. He's a university student. He used to tell me, do you know chemistry? I said, no. Can you live without it? I said, yes. He said, I will live without chemistry too.
My son said the same thing.
They're right.
I used to think that my son will be an outstanding student, but I don't believe this anymore.
Oh, no. You should believe in your sons. So, well, school homework or school things are not important. Don't forget about believing in your children. That's very, very
Yeah, I get it, but we have to pass an exams in 9th grade.
Do you need
and
chemistry?
Huh?
Do you need chemistry exams?
No, of course no, but chemistry is not the only problem in our studying.
Okay. Choose the easy subjects. He will get older and everything will be fine. Well, what I want you to do now, I want you to think of something which is true for you or which is a lie. Here I have some ideas. Like think about you, not your sons, you in your teenage years, in your childhood. Well, I used to have a secret hiding place for things. For example, my son did. He would hide sweets in his room. Well, think about some ideas, bossy or miss school without permission, have a very strange habit. So I want you to think of two things with used to or would. One thing is true for you, the other thing is a lie. You will say it and we will try to guess, okay?
Mhm.
Here you have some ideas. You can use any ideas you like.
What does it mean, blame?
When you blame somebody for doing something, you say, it's not me, it's him.
Oh, okay.
Very often in this country, we say, our government is to blame for bad roads. It's not us, not the climate. The government don't invest money in roads. Обвинять, right? So here are just some ideas, but you can use any.
I'm ready.
Okay. So Inga, please, your two facts about you, and we'll think which one is true and which one is a lie.
So I used to get top marks in my class, and I used to blame my brother for things I did.
So I believe in the fact number one. And I think that the second fact is false. No.
No? No? You used to blame your brother?
Yes.
What for? You see, we blame somebody for. What did you blame your brother for?
For different things because he is an adult brother.
He was older. I see.
Yes, and with toys and with housework and so on.
Yeah, I see. Interesting. So look at this. I used to get top marks, or I would get top marks. Well, this is something that. And what about blame? Can we use blame with would?
I think blame is state. Well,
It's more like a state, but still you say things. When you blame, you usually say, like, you sounds more natural, but I would blame. Yeah, like it's also okay. Good. Now, Oля, it's your turn.
I used to be very good at sport, especially in basketball. And the second, I would have a secret hiding places for different things.
I think the first is false, and the second is true.
Yes.
And
I hate basketball.
You hate basketball. And what about hiding places? Where did you hide things?
I had my own room and hiding places at my room, in the wardrobe, under the carpet, in the cupboard.
I see.
And what did you hide?
Where did you hide?
It was my diary. It was a collection of money. Some cards. And I didn't remember what else.
All right. Oh, interesting.
It were not sweets, but some special private things.
Private things, yeah. Okay, we say with sports, do we use used to or would? Because of the Used to
It
be,
used to.
yeah. You can, and if you say play or do sports, you can
You
say
can use you would.
would. I would play basketball, or I used to be very good at basketball. And look at about this have. Can we use both, or can
Both.
we have
Used
it used to?
because it's
Because of
state.
this have is a state.
It's a state.
Have emits, yeah, it's a state.
We have, yes,
I used to have.
I think it was.
No, it's not an
Action?
action. Yeah, like it's a state. You have it. You
Ah.
have a secret place. So I used to be and I used to have.
Mhm.
Or I would play, or I would hide. You can say would hide, but used to have a secret hiding place.
Mhm.
Okay, so we are about to stop here. Right. So what I'm going to ask you to do at home, I'll ask you to listen to a talk about people winning money, and if they are lucky, if they are unlucky, and there will be some language tasks here
Mhm.
based on the listening task, and there will be an extra listening task. One thing that I want you to think before we leave. So you remember we have different, when we win money, usually our life changes, right? Can it change for the better or for the worse?
Maybe better, maybe worse.
Maybe
It
both.
depends. Yes, I agree. It depends. But when we talk about changes, think about these words. Well, which one is a noun and which one is a verb? Winning a lottery, how do we say this?
Horse is maybe noun.
House.
It's a verb. It can be a noun, but it can be a verb. Cause something, yeah? So for example, winning money can cause problems or can cause changes, cause something, and we have an object. What about lead? Is it a verb or a noun?
Verb.
Verb.
Yeah. What about the prepositions?
Lead in, maybe.
Lead to something, yeah? Lead to something. So winning a lot of money can lead to changes in life. So remember this result. If it's a verb, we have this result in
Maybe
It's
something.
a verb.
Yeah, it's a verb. It can be a noun and it can be a verb. So lead to, result in something, cause something. Look at these words, effect and effect. So what is the difference? The pronunciation is the same.
The first is verb.
Yes.
Fact, something.
Well, here we have a positive or a negative effect, and usually we say on something, yeah? Effect, have an effect on something, but affect something. So where do Russian people make mistakes?
effect, maybe.
Yes, because in Russian we have влиять на. Here we don't have prepositions. Sometimes we forget about result in because we have a different structure. Yeah, in Russian. Cause something or lead to something, I think, is easy. And with the adverbs, or no, not adverbs, but verbs and the structures that we discussed. Смотрите, в учебниках уровня B1 у вас, как правило, used to есть. И вы с учениками об этом много говорите. Вариативность добавляется на более высоких уровнях. То есть здесь вопрос как бы вашего внутреннего желания этой вариативности, да. С Used to все знакомо и понятно. Would просто дает разнообразие, особенно в повествованиях, в описаниях событий в прошлом. Да? То есть не просто придерживаться past simple или там past continuous, а добавлять вариативности в речь. И, конечно, вот это no longer, оно будет вылезать в тестовых работах, да, как правило, проверяться знания конструкций. По синтаксису оно немножко нам не близко, что отрицание не в глаголе, а в обстоятельстве. Да, поэтому, опять же, тоже такой момент. Попробовать просто на это пообращать внимание, если хотим разные новые структуры использовать, то попробовать поиспользовать. You will do some exercises at home, and I think that's about it. And we stop here. And that's all for now. Any questions?
No questions.
No.
Okay, so there will be a workshop with Daria about young learners, and I hope, Inga, I received your link with the lesson, and Ola, I'm looking forward to your link.
Yeah. This weekend I will
It's
do it
okay,
because
so it's
I
okay,
haven't
don't
left
worry.
time.
Okay, enjoy the coffee break, and
Okay.
that's it.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. See you. Goodbye.